All right, now I've got some time under my belt, or with this knife on my belt, I probably should say, and the sheath. Now I did throw an Ulti-Clip on there. I've also run a Tech Lock on the other side to wear it just on my belt all the time. The thing is, I'm going between like in the waistband and pocket carry and backpack carry so often. The Ulti-Clip just kind of makes the most sense for me right now. The Tech Lock is a pretty close second, but I like the Ulti-Clip. And this version is like, I don't know if that's the 3 or what that one's called. I like this one a lot for this application. The sheath, let's start with the sheath. So retention is phenomenal, snaps into place, holds it upside down, doesn't rattle, like does not rattle unless I want it to. I can adjust the tensioner, and it's got these rubber grommets around both sides. Like everything has been well thought through on this one. All the seams are melded together or melted together. It's polished, it's so smooth. I don't see sharp edges. The Kydex didn't have rough bits inside. Like when I got the sheath, it didn't have a bunch of Kydex residue in there. The flare for the opening was perfect from the start. I didn't have to do anything. A lot of times with Kydex sheaths, even some nicer Kydex sheaths, I tend to just, manipulate them a little bit with a lighter or a hair dryer or a heat gun. Just touch it up a little bit to either get the retention that I want or the flare that's needed for the handle scales. A lot of people just don't put in the time necessary to get them perfected, but this one has everything right. In fact, I want you to track something here. Along the spine, maybe it's easier to see this way, along the spine, you can see this all the way to the opening and the end. And so the spine runs right along that. So if you get water down in here, it's gonna follow the blade or the spine and it's gonna come down to a central point. I've actually seen people drill a hole or present a hole somewhere like not actually in line with the tip of the blade. So it would actually keep water in the Kydex, or worse yet, Kydex sheaths without a drip hole in the bottom. Not good. This one, it actually follows the line, so it's gonna expel water as quickly as possible. It is big enough. That's a big deal for me because I actually wear my blades out in the elements. Now this one is coated, and it's a really nice coating. Not only is it not flashy, it's not gonna reflect light for the most part, but it's gonna protect it against salt water or rust in general. And I find that these Micarta scales with this slip in and out really nicely, snap in and out. So good job on the sheath. Multiple lashing points, pretty much everything that I've ever used for a sheath, I could mount up on this and I'd be really happy. Pocket carry, backpack carry, upside down, sure. Just use that adjustment screw right there to tighten up a little bit if you're gonna go upside down. One thing I think is really cool is there's even a couple micro rivets right here. Speaking of, I used to make Kydex myself. All the rivets are pressed perfectly. Hi, buddy. Okay. Do you want to see yourself? Here, you could sit here. Sit right here. Okay. This is my boy. What do you think of this? What is this?
A knife.
It's a knife. Is it a good knife?
Yeah.
It's a very special knife, isn't it? Can you say Reiff knives?
Reiff knives.
Can you say the knife connection?
The knife connection.
He's trying. Well, I think the sheath is 10 out of 10, and I really mean that. I think it's 10 out of 10. And I'm gonna move on now and talk a little bit about the scales and what I found for the fitment on the scales. You're a comedian, aren't you? With the scales, any aftermarket scale I've tried in the past with any other kind of blade, there's always the concern that it's not gonna fit up quite as tight as the original scales that were manufactured for it. With this one, I can't tell at all. There's like, I'm trying to feel a bevel or an edge or just something unlevel. I did do my job and I did my diligence to tighten these up and so that it fit right, but there's not a lot of wiggle room. There's actually quite tight tolerances, which you want to see with something like this. And they're smooth all the way up to the front. I don't need to have like a cutout up here. I don't need to have some sort of indexing position right there, but I like it to be smooth. I don't want it to be overly sharp or abrasive up here because this is a bushcraft survival knife for me especially. I suppose just my standards nowadays, any knife, I don't want it to be sharp where my hand is typically gonna be going. And it's nice and smooth. They did a really nice job on that. Like I'm saying, it just meets up perfectly. There's no issues. So again, 10 out of 10 on the scales. Burlap micarta is really cool. I like the lanyard hole, totally clean. It's been cut straight through really well. Everything matches up. I don't see unlevelness through the hole. It looks like it's a very clean run through, matches up with the tang. Bottom side, again, right up to the scallop here, or right up to the first finger position and the guard. If I really try, I might feel, it's not a catch, but there is just a slight rise to that part right there, but it's not like a catch, not a finger catch where it's unlevel. I'm just trying to find something here. Yeah, guys, the more I look at it, the more these are just really true. That's what you want to see with an aftermarket scale for a premium knife like this. It needs to match the quality of the blade, and Reiff is a very high tier blade. I'm really happy with the performance of the knife and the scales and the sheath. Installation was no problem. It comes with 2 tools. So you're going to use Allen's for this. You're going to use Torx to take off the original. And, oh, the sun's changing. Let's move this over. You're going to use Torx to take off the original scales, and then these are Allen's, which it comes with all the things that you need. These are just, they're just sunk in enough, kind of countersunk the way that these are made. They're in just enough that, again, when I grab it, I don't even notice they're there. I don't feel it. It's not obvious at all. Make sure you do it evenly. Don't crank on one and then be loose on the other side. Just do it evenly as you're going through, and it's going to turn out just fine. Here are those original G10 scales that the blade came with. I think these are nice. They have, as far as G10 is concerned, they have a really nice smoothness to them, yet there is some grip. I don't find these to have a bunch of sharp spots on them. And for G10, these are still pretty desirable. You can see the contouring that they would have on a handle. They're really high quality. They're great. And as far as the factory sheath goes, this is the factory sheath, and the sheath is still a very, very high quality sheath, much higher quality than many other brands. You can see that it is also adjustable. You got some rubber spacers in there, and a certain kind of belt clip that's going to come with it. Might be a little wide for some people, but at least it gets you started. It's something to get you going for sure, and it retains it well. It does what a sheath is supposed to do: protect the blade, protect you from the blade, and make it accessible. Now, the difference is that you're going to see, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's take a look at this. So with the factory sheath, that's the edges. They're not going to come together like these are from the knife connection. This is just a next level of smoothness and tolerance and quality control. It is another level. Smoothing those out, making them uniform. These just have a little gap, not a big deal. The rivets are still pressed pretty darn well. It's a very similar design of the sheath, but I'm just going to say that the gap there is a bigger gap all the way around, and I notice it on both sides. Not a huge deal, but with a premium blade like this, that's like heirloom quality that I'm going to keep forever. I kind of want that next quality, or that next tier of high quality sheath. So you can kind of see how all those edges are. And then this is just a little bit more low profile. Sits better in the pocket, sits better on the side, because there's just not quite as much of an opening there, yet it goes in and out without trouble. So yes, big fan of Sheath. Sheath is going to be one of my favorites that I've had for an aftermarket sheath. Probably my top favorite for a Reiff. And the blade with that coating is really neat. They have a huge variation of Reiff knives. This is not the only one they have. In fact, this one might be sold out by now. It's very popular. The burlap micarta with the black and the brown is just a very tasteful. It's a good complementary combo with the sheath that I have picked out there. But they have so many more Reiff knives. So if you're looking to get into a Reiff knife, then I want to recommend go ahead and head over to the Knife Connection right now. There's so many of them. There are more F5, and this is highly recommended as a companion or probably a solo survival knife. I think it's big enough, robust enough, and all the premium materials are available at the Knife Connection, where you see I got these.